أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Here we are again in Pakistan International School Taif's virtual learning system, and I am your teacher Saeed Ahmad Lagari. So as this is our book of social study for class 6. So as in the previous lecture, I have given you homework, you MCQs and some question and answers. So here we are solving some MCQs. So number first MCQ, dash are the highest lands. So here are three answers are given. Hills, skies are the mountains. So the correct answer is mountains. In the second one, dash areas of full land well above a sea level. So here three answers are given. The correct answer is plateaus. The bed of the Indus south of Panjnand tells only from dash meters to sea level on its 560 kilometers journey to the Arabian Sea. So how many meters? So it is 75 meters is the correct answers. In question number 4, Potowar Plateau is located between dash Salt Range and Sargodha district, Salt Range and the Arabian Sea, Salt Range and the Karakoram Range. So correct answer is Salt Range and the Karakoram Range. Number 5, the most important agricultural areas of Pakistan are in dash. So correct answer is the Indus Valley. So these MCQs are completed. Few of students have given me some feedback and they have given me the answers of these questions. So further we are going. So now we are solving the question and answers which are given in our book. But in the last, the MCQs are not given, but we have made ourselves from the book. So now we are solving the question and answers. So question number 1A, it is given in your exercise book, page number 8. It is given from the page number 8. So now we are solving. Question number 1 says, where are most Islamic countries located? Why are they in this part of the world? So, and the second part, B part of this question is, in which part of the world are there no Islamic countries? So here are the answers I am giving you. So answer of question number 1 is, most Islamic countries in the Middle East, Southern Asia, and Northern Africa. The home of Islam is Saudi Arabia, and it spread outwards from here. Its progress was halted by the solid barriers of Christianity in Europe and Western Russia, by the virtually empty steppes of Central Asia, by the firmly established society in China, and the deserts of North Africa. So this is the first answer of the first part of the question number 1. The second part of this question is this: in which part of the world are there no Islamic countries? So its answer is, there are no Islamic countries in the Europe, in the Europe, the upper part from the tiny state of Albania, where there are a few million Muslims, and in Australia. So its answer is, there is no Islamic countries in America, Europe, but the few countries or few parts of the Europe, there are few millions of Muslims also live over there. So now we are going into the second question. The second question is, in which parts of Pakistan are deserts located? So here is the answer. In Pakistan, deserts, which are to be called as a hot, are located. As you know very well, the deserts are the hot places because of why it is written hot. Are located in the east and southeast, in the center and the west. Cold deserts are found in the high mountains of the on the north. So as we have learned already in our last lecture, so we have learned the four deserts which are located in Pakistan, as you know, Thar, Cholistan, and the others. So this is the answer of question number 2. Question number 3: why do you think does the Punjab have the highest population in the country? So why there is highest population? Punjab is the most populous, as it is generally the most fertile and has a very extensive system of canals supplying water for the agriculture, which is the main occupation of the people. So because of this is the answer of the question number 3. Now we are going to the question number 4. Locate in your atlas the places in the cross section on page number 5 and make a list of all the mountain ranges in Pakistan and northern India. So this question is not, we are not been writing it mostly, but its answer you can see or follow the net and you will get its answer. Students to refer to the atlas of the answer. For this answer, you can refer the net and the atlas, you can get its answer. But this question number 4 is not important as the question number 2, 3, and 1. So question number 5 is also a virtual question. It is not very important and we are not been given in the examination. So it is not important as the point examination point of view. So this question says that find all the given geographical features on a map of subcontinent in your atlas. On an outline map of the region, mark one example of each with the names. So it's answer finding these features in the subcontinent on the atlas. So we have learned the mountains obvious in the northwest, and where are the plateaus located? Plateaus, the Potohar region. Where are the plains are to be located? Plains. All the green colored areas on the map we have learned. Deserts, the land, third desert, parts of and the parts of Balochistan. So as you know, we have learned it. The third desert is located in the part of Sindh province of Pakistan. And rivers, the life blood of Pakistan. The rivers are the lifeblood of Pakistan, rising in the north and merging with the Indus to flow down to the Arabian Sea. We have learned it very well in the last maps. Lakes, and we have learned relatively few natural ones. Saif al Maluk in Kagan, these are the few lakes. Manchur Lake in Sindh, and often artificial, were created by the dams for hydroelectric power or reservoirs. Hub, Hub, Rawal, Mangla, and Varsik lakes, which are artificially made by dams. Estuary, we have learned no good examples in Pakistan. So, and the delta, we have learned the estuaries are the high located deserts where, so in the Pakistan, there is no estuaries given. Delta, Indus in the southeast, it makes a very big delta. So our question answers are now completed of the chapter number 1. So now we are starting our new chapter. So this is our chapter number 2. in which we will talk about the weather and climates. So now I am reading it. Weather is the climatic conditions on any one day. In a desert, there may be a one day of showers, but this may be the only rain it gets during the year. In the Arctic region, during its short summer, there might be a few days when the temperature is quite high. From this passage, it is clear that the some regions of the Arctic, there is a temperature. Look from this picture, it is clear. And some there are the in the deserts, the climate is very hot. So now we are learning about what is climate. So climate is the average of the weather conditions over a whole year. The desert, in spite of one day of showers, has a hot, dry climate. The Arctic regions, despite a few days of sunshine, has a bitter or cold climate. So, as you know very well, in the deserts there is not a lot of rains are there. So, in one day rain or 2 day rain or few days rain, it will be not affect the climate of the desert. But most in the Arctic regions, the few days, because in the Arctic oceans they are totally very cold, and there is not much they will not get much sunshines. So if there is a few days of sunshine, it will be not affect the weather of these Arctic regions. So the climate of the country is very important. So as a climate, if we will see this one, so the climate of the country is very important. It decides what crops can grown there and how the people live. So the climate is very important for any country, for with respect to what type of the crop they will grow in what season. So it is very, the climate is also important for any country. And also the people, for example, in few areas of the Pakistan there is a hot weather, and few places of Pakistan there is a cold weather. So it the climate is also affect very much on the people's lives. There is no point in trying to grow rice in the dry, cold plains of the Central Asia. So in the Central Asia, there is no possibility to grow the rice, nor mangoes in the northern Russia, because the mangoes needs very uh, hot weather. So because in the Russia there is no mangoes on the northern Russia, because their temperature is very cold. Now, so bananas will not grow in the Siberia, nor cotton in the northern Canada. So you know, in the Siberia is very cold weather. So because there is the bananas cannot grow on the Siberia. Exactly same way, the cotton cannot be grow on the Canada, because it is mostly covered with the snow on the northern Canada. So now here the question arises, what causes different climates? So why the climate changes? So what is the answer of this one? So it is given in our book. Temperature is one factor this depends on. So temperature is the main factor for the different climates. So now here are the two parts for the different climates. Number first is the distance from the equator. So distance from the equator, it plays a very important role in the different climates. So now here we can see, so this is the map of our world. and this red line in this map shows the equator. So this is, if we are going to the upward, so it shows the north. If we will go the downward, it shows the south pole. So distance from the equator, now we are reading, normally the closer we are to the equator, as we are closer to the equator, the warmer and wetter it will be. So as we will close to the equator, the weather will be hot and there will be a lot of humidity also, and the weather will be warmer over near to the equator. So now I'm showing you from this picture. So look at here. Here is the, in this is the, this is our earth, and this central line shows the equator, and this is the sun, and these are the different distances from the sun to our earth. So here, if you will see at the equator, the lines are the distance of the lines, or the distance between the sun rays is smaller. So due to on this position of the earth, there will be a very hot day because the sun is close to this area. With respect to these, as in this map, the south and north pole, here sun rays reaches, they will get very much time to reach on these regions. So because in the poles, like here it is the north pole and south pole, sun gets very much time to reach the sun rays is over here. So because these are the colder areas and these central equator areas are very hot. So the distance from the equator plays very important role. Normally, the closer we are to the equator, the warmer and the wetter it will be. At the north or south poles, it will be bitterly cold. So we have seen on these areas of the North Pole and South Pole, because the distance between the sun and these North Pole and South Pole is very high. So because these areas are to be mostly cold areas, but at the equator it is very near to the sun. So because these are to be the very hot areas of the earth. So we are going into the next page, the B part of the climate. So altitude. Altitude, the height of the place above the sea level. If we are looking in this map, so it is clear that this is the sea level, and as we will go at the altitude means as we are going to the upward. So as you know, we are living in Taif. In Taif, so altitude is more than the Jeddah and Makkah. So because here the weather is different from the Makkah and Jeddah. So here, as at the sea level, the temperature is different. For example, at the sea level, if the temperature will be 10 degree, if we will go upward at the altitude, at the 200-meter, it will be 8 degree. At the 400-meter, if we will go upward, it will be 6 degree. As we will go more, 800, it will be 2 degree. As we are going as to the height of a place above a sea level, we will get the temperature lower and lower and lower. So the higher we are, the colder it is. Mount Kilimanjaro, 5,200 meters height. Look at this one. This is the Mount Kilimanjaro, and its height is from the sea level. It is 5,200 meters above the sea level. So because of why, there is the temperature difference. You can see here is the white range. In this white range shows the weather is very cold, and mostly it is covered with snow. So the Kilimanjaro, 5,200 meters high, is almost right on the equator, yet its top is covered with snow all year around. Less than 100 kilometers away on the plain at about sea level, the average temperature all year around about 30 degree. So as in the last page we have learned the equator and you understand it very well. So as we go from the height of a place about sea level, so the temperature is changes. So this one page is complete of our chapter number 2. So inshallah in the next lecture we will complete this lesson. Thank you very much you all and wish you all the best.